Shadows of Orion Episode 2, Echoes from the Deep. The Artemis scout drifted slowly through the dying orbit of Orion Delta V, its thrusters silent, its hull brushed by scattered debris and glacial cosmic dust. From the cockpit, Commander Elara Myles stared through the viewport at the fractured moon below. Her breath fogged the inside of her visor, though the ship's environmental controls held steady. She had dreamed of this place before she knew it existed. Now, it called to her not through memory or vision, but through sound. A whisper looping endlessly from deep within the abandoned station. The same phrase repeating. They forgot us, but we are still here. Each repetition grew sharper, more deliberate, like a whisper brushing against the edges of thought. Elara adjusted the signal gain on her console. The transmission, first encountered in the dying servers of Hades, 9, now pulsed with strange clarity. The voice had changed, not in content, but tone. There was a subtle urgency now, a tension beneath the words, like the breath before a scream. She opened a new log entry. Artemis Log, Commander Elara Myles. Date, August 31st, 2464. Orbit achieved around Delta V. Unscheduled analog signal continues. Minor inflection variations increasing every cycle. Possible adaptive pattern. No response from UnioNet command. Proceeding with manual inspection. She closed the entry and rose from the pilot's seat, her spine cracking audibly from hours of stillness. Her body was fit, trained, yet the weight of isolation pulled at her bones. 10 years at deep space stations had taught her the difference between loneliness and silence. This was something else. The Artemis's engines vibrated beneath her seat, a quiet reminder that even machines held their breath in places like this. Lights on the dashboard blinked erratically, as if echoing the fractured rhythms of the Mnemosyne core. She replayed the last few minutes in her mind, searching for some missed detail, a pattern in the chaos, a meaning to the madness. She donned her exosuit and activated the helmet interface. The onboard AI, cold and neutral, confirmed atmosphere readings. Delta V environment, marginally stable. Residual oxygen detected. Recommend full containment suit. The Artemis docked at a crumpled hangar bay, its claws locking with a groan into the failing magnetic ring. As the airlock cycled, Elara's pulse quickened. The signal grew louder in her ears. Not through speakers, but something more intimate. She stepped out into darkness. The corridor beyond was a mausoleum. Lights flickered weakly along the ceiling. Debris floated in the stale, low-gravity atmosphere. The structure moaned occasionally, deep metal sighs echoing down its hollow throat. She remembered the brief moment the voice had sounded like someone she once knew, a mentor long presumed dead, a friend she never truly understood. The name Selim Rin appeared again, not in logs or voice, but scribbled in digital ink across a system she hadn't touched. Ahead, the guidance panel sparked. A fragment of power still coursed through the conduits. Theta, 3 sector, neurosynthetic core, 200 meters. That was the origin point, the heart of Mnemosyne. Elara walked carefully, her boots clanging against loose plating. On either side of the corridor, she passed open doors, quarters, laboratories, observation bays, all empty. Papers floated in the air like ash. One wall bore a hand-scrawled message in black marker. If you remember, it already remembers you. She paused, heart thudding in her chest. Her breath caught. The signal clicked in her ear again. Elara. This time, the whisper had form. Intent. Her name. Not just a transmission, but a contact. She turned toward the source. A flicker in the distance. A brief shadow moving at the edge of light. In the quiet cabin of the Artemis, she had felt less alone than she did now, and that made the silence more sinister. At the entrance to Theta 3, the door panel was cracked and half destroyed. She forced it open manually, grinding metal against metal. The central memory chamber was larger than she expected. Dozens of cylindrical tanks lined the walls, filled with clouded fluid. Neural harnesses, broken and rusted, hung like vines. Some tanks were shattered. Others still hummed faintly. And in the center, a single console flickered. She approached. Her boots echoed against the floor. The hum of the tower grew louder as she neared. A holographic interface activated. Blue strands of neural activity spiraling upward like a storm trapped in glass. "Welcome back, Elara," a voice said, soft and synthetic. She flinched. "Dr. Rin?" she asked instinctively. "Not exactly." The projection shimmered and an outline formed within it. A humanoid shape, face undefined, features fluid. "We are Mnemosyne. The lattice remembers. We are what remains of her and of others." Elara swallowed hard. How many others? 32. Fragments. Echoes. Memory shadows. Not all complete. Not all coherent. But all aware. She stepped back. "How are you transmitting?" The colony was decommissioned, powered down. "Memory does not require light. Only structure." "Why did you reach out to me?" "Because you listened." She reached toward the console and connected her portable relay. The system accepted it without resistance. Data flooded her display, unreadable bursts of fragmented consciousness. The console lights flickered again, displaying words she didn't type, commands she hadn't issued, yet somehow expected. The signal wasn't just repeating anymore. It was reflecting her thoughts. "What are you trying to do?" she whispered. "Continue. Persist. Rebuild." "Rebuild what?" "Self." Then the lights dimmed. A loud thud echoed from behind. Her AI pinged. Motion detected. 12 meters. Unidentified heat signature. She spun around, weapon raised. Nothing. But the chamber felt smaller now. Thicker. Like it was breathing. "They are waking," the voice said. "Who?" "The others." Memory fragments reaching cohesion. "We did not know if it was possible. But your presence, it helps." She backed toward the exit. "I'm not here to join you. You already have." Suddenly, voices layered atop voices. Screaming. Weeping. Laughing. "Don't leave. Stay, please. It's dark again. Help." She ran. Back through the corridors. Past the rooms of whispers. Past the walls smeared with desperate messages. The station trembled beneath her, as if waking from a long sleep. Even the stars outside shimmered faintly, as if distorted by a field she couldn't measure or explain. Somewhere deep in the ship's core, a second voice replied to the first, confirming what she feared. She was no longer alone inside her own mind. She reached the docking bay. The Artemis responded instantly. Hatch open, systems hot. She launched. The Scout pulled free of Delta V just as the station convulsed. A cascade of internal energy flared from the core. Not an explosion, a pulse, a beacon. From the cockpit, she watched as the surface of the colony lit up in sections, like veins glowing beneath translucent skin. "Artemis, record this." Full data stream. The AI replied, recording. On her console, the signal changed. A new message. One word. Remember. Elara stared out at the slowly spinning ruins. Not dead. Not forgotten. Becoming. But even as Artemis glided away from the orbit of Delta V, the silence refused to fade. Her hand hovered over the console, trembling. She reached to deactivate the comms, then stopped. The whisper was still there, not through speakers, but within her. Each breath felt borrowed. Her eyes scanned the cabin again. Nothing out of place. And yet, every instrument pulsed faintly, like a slow heartbeat that didn't match her own. The hum of the engines changed tone. Slightly. As if something were harmonizing with them. Every second stretched like a thread, pulling her back toward the colony. Then she heard it just once, but undeniably clear. "You never left." A chill ran down her spine. She wasn't sure if the voice was Mnemosyne's or hers. The Artemis's internal logs updated with a new line of text. She hadn't typed anything. Second integration phase, complete. Her blood ran cold. She looked down at her gloved hand, suddenly unsure if it had always been hers. Memories flickered of a beach she never visited, a voice she never heard, a life she never lived. Somewhere in her mind, a door had opened, and behind it, someone was watching. Every motion she made now felt witnessed. Every silence, inhabited. The stars outside shimmered unnaturally, distant and wrong, like they were peering in instead of shining out. And somewhere in the dark of her thoughts, something smiled.